Hi, I'm Amir. I'm one half of the Amir and Aleks team, and today we're going to talk about bidding. Let's go. So if you didn't know, the bidding process in Ontario is blind, which means basically if you bid on a property and there are multiple bids, you're not privy to any of the information on the other bids, nor are they privy to your information, meaning you'll know how many offers are registered, but you won't know any information about those offers. Open bidding creates some transparency, not in the way of personal information, meaning names, who these people are, but rather usually four components of an offer, and they are price, deposit, closing date, and conditions. A seller can choose to disclose those pieces of information to all bidders, creating an open bidding system. So after the first round, that information would be released and you'd have some insight as to what your competitors are bidding, what some of their terms and conditions are, etc. That is open bidding. So offer deadlines basically are where a property goes on the market and then they'll take offers in a given time frame. Typically, it's about 5 to 7 days, maybe 8. Sometimes you'll see a little bit longer. But the general idea is when a property comes to market or it's listed, they'll have a set date whereby they're going to review offers on that very set date. This gives a little bit of exposure to the property, giving buyers and their agents ample time to actually go through the property, after which, on that set date, they can choose to either place offers or not. This also creates a bit of a buzz, so the seller's hope with the offer deadline strategy is to get multiple offers, hoping for the best price possible. One of the key challenges is that even with open bidding, it's not exactly what people think it'll be. With closed bidding, you should kind of be looking at the objective value of the property and then asking yourself what that property is worth to you, and those two components is what you should be offering. If you're kind of in the final 2 or 3, you'll know the listing agent will tell you, or rather tell your agent, and so you have a chance to improve your offer and the best offer wins. With open bidding, we did it yesterday. We had 3 offers on a property, and ironically, the lowest offer ended up being the highest offer in the end. And I think part of the reason why that happened is because perhaps the lowest offer always knew they could go to the number they ended up winning at, but chose not to show that to everyone. And so that can be looked at as a strategy. I think it's kind of a long way for us to figure out what a very level playing field would look like. Personally, I've always felt that the governance around the process is more important than the process itself. Whether you have a closed bidding process or an open bidding process, the issue isn't the process, it's the people regulating it, it's the people running the process. In my belief, if you have basically a standardized process for all realtors that they have to adhere to with really strict consequences if they don't, then you create an even playing field. But if you don't, then basically Tom, Dick, and Harry will run it the way they want to, so your experience with house 1, 2, and 3 will be different. And that's where you get kind of that disconnect between what's supposed to happen and what sometimes people feel happen. Hope that makes sense. Right now, the way it stands, open bidding is the choice of a seller. I'm neither against it or for it. I think that it's really a seller's choice. And if the seller asks me, is it to my advantage? I'd say it's not to your disadvantage. I've been on the selling side many times, and I've seen where a top offer might be substantially higher than a second bidder. But personally, I think that isn't good for the overall health of the market. Now, as a whole, the industry and buyers and sellers shouldn't be concerned with just one transaction, but rather the health of the entire market in the long term. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're overbidding against a second property or a second offer by a substantial amount. Not only that, but it ends up basically creating this accelerated market, which is based on artificial growth. I'm not for or against open bidding. I'm for an even playing field for all, where basically the process is quite standardized and everyone knows exactly what's going to happen, whether we're in first round, second round, and if there is a third round, what those parameters would have to be to get there. And it's just run fairly for all. And I think that way it's a true market, it's a true fair market, and nobody feels like there are any games being played, as you hear often. And that's what I'm for. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or Aleks. I'm always happy to chat. And please, I'd love to know what your opinions are on open bidding and closed bidding, the disadvantages and advantages of both sides of the coin, and whether you're of the same opinion. Heyo!